Empress mine, Mr. Jean, Mr. Virebi, the team. Let me also appreciate the presence here of gentlemen and ladies from the press who are our special guests today, as well as colleagues that we have from EMA. I want to start by extending my warm greetings to you all, and I appreciate your presence here today as we embark on this very important media tour here at Empress Mine. Empress Mine is one of big gold mines in the province, contributing a lot to our GDP of the province. This tour is significant to EMA, as is part of the mission of EMA of promoting environmental education, building capacity in sustainable environmental management, ensure that all development happens in a sustainable manner. Now, unlike the previous media tours that we've had, this one is focusing on mining. An area perhaps that you know, maybe some of us may not be very familiar with, but I think this tour should be able to assist us in learning a few things, especially those that we consider to be good environmental practices. You will appreciate, colleagues, that the mining sector remains one of the pillars in terms of socio-economic development in the country, contributing a lot towards the growth that we all desire as a country. But we also appreciate that our development blueprint, the NDS one that we've been running with the last 5 years, and the NDS 2 that we are embarking on starting next year, that they also emphasize what they call responsible mining. We are talking here, gentlemen and ladies, mining which takes care of environmental management. So the Environmental Management Agency focuses on ensuring that our mining sector adopts responsible mining, that our mining sector complies with the national environmental laws, and that our mining sector abides by the environmental standards that we have set as a country, and also adopt internationally recognized best practices. This tour of Empress Mine is part of the agency's broader efforts to strengthen environmental accountability within the mining sector. So today we're going to look at a number of things, but perhaps let me highlight two main components that we want us to look at, although we should not close our eyes to other things. The first one is to do with mine rehabilitation. I know we have stories of investors and the companies that have mined elsewhere. When the resource gets exhausted, when there are some other unwanted developments, they have just left in ISO, leaving the burden on the government to mobilize resources and try to rehabilitate these areas, to take them back to a state where at least the community can use the land again. So we are here to see if Empress Mine is also doing rehabilitation. Now, what we call responsible mining is continuous rehabilitation. The moment you open a mine, those areas that you think you are done with or are mined out, we start rehabilitation. So that we don't leave the rehabilitation at the end of the mining. That's when most times we then eventually leave without doing anything. So, if you are looking at this Empress Mine, our statistics and our surveillance has told us that the whole claim, which is about 160 hectares, about 80 hectares, half of it is already mined out. Now, of that mined out area, we've also gathered that about 43 hectares is already being rehabilitated or has already been rehabilitated. So we want to see this and appreciate if this is what we want as a country in terms of mining rehabilitation. The second component that we want to look at is to do with mine effluent water management. Very critical. We have heard about a number of instances of mine effluent water poisoning the environment, being a danger to members. Why? Because as we process minerals, we use chemicals, which make the effluent water very toxic within the environment. So we are also keen to find out what mechanisms do they have in place to manage that effluent water, so that it does not contaminate our underground water resources, does not contaminate our surface water resources, and the entire environment, including human beings and our livestock and wildlife, flora and fauna. So we are going to be looking at all these things. We're looking at the tailings dams. Tailings, these are where they deposit the slimes which contain effluent water. See how they are managing these tailings, ensure that they don't pollute. Ladies and gentlemen, environmental stewardship is not a responsibility of EMA alone. It is a collective duty shared by government, industry, communities, and the media. As our motto, we say, our EMA motto, together protecting the environment. And as the year draws to an end, let me take this opportunity to appreciate the effort all media houses represented here, and some that may not be represented here, have done in terms of raising environmental awareness. As the agency, we would like to appreciate you for your commitment and work this year towards raising awareness and educating the public on environmental issues. The good work reached far, the good work that you did reached far, and it contributed to behavioral change towards the environment by much of our populace. I urge you to continue with the same spirit as we look to work together again in 2026. So I think in short, we don't want to say Empress Line has done it very well. We want to leave it to you colleagues. As we do the tour, let's see the good things. And as we go and report, let's report about them. When we report these good things that have happened, we should be able to then allow other miners out there to learn also from what's happening here. And let's also observe the bad things that will be happening here. And let's talk about them and report them, so that as we report them, other miners out there are also then aware of mitigation measures to try and look at them together with the mine management here, to also be able to then address those areas that we think are not happening. Otherwise, in short, colleagues, thank you very much for this.